And what's good? It's your boy Dylan with the Recappables. Doing Tay Roc versus Goodz today with my boy France. How you doing, bro?
Hey, bro, I'm feeling great. October 1st, 10:30 p.m. By the time this drops, it'll be October 2nd. It'll be my birthday. So life is good.
And happy early birthday, just in case I don't get you, before anybody else does. We here right now, but
Oh,
I didn't even know it was your birthday tomorrow. What the?
we're gonna chop it up on the Slack. I bother you guys every day. It's not a day that'll go by where I'm not in you guys' ears, fucking going crazy. But damn, man, you can't ever take too much days off from battle rap because shit's always dropping left and right.
Facts, and we got a goodie here with pun intended, with Goodz and Tay Roc. This was the first battle that's dropping from the NOME 8 card. Um,
The co-main
I
event.
was actually, I was actually in the building for this one, for
Yes,
this
yes,
event.
you were. Yes,
So
you were. Yes, you were. And for the people listening, the first time you were ever on the show before you became a part of the show, you did our plus minus with us for the first time, and you did the no mate card, so it was great.
yeah, exactly. And, getting back to, these battles on cam and the whole feel of that event, I think it's probably been, URL's best event this year, I would say, as
I
far
think
as battles. And
it's the best event the entire year, period. I think honestly.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. It's, I was going to say arguably because I haven't considered every single one, but definitely for URL. And, uh, yeah, no, it was, I'm glad it was an event that I went to that I was able to be a part of. And yeah, it's the one that got me my start here at, Let's Talk Battle Rap. So, man,
It,
let's get into it. This one is intense here.
I'm intrigued because the last couple of recappables you've done, we've been in the building and you've watched it on cam. This time you've got to be in the building and watch it on, and we're the ones watching it on cam. Now that you've gotten both perspectives, how do you feel about the battle overall before we even chop it up?
I think
Crazy how different
it
it
turned
is.
out, yeah, it turned out a little different than I thought. I think it's actually more in Tay Roc's favor on cam than it was in the building. Um,
I'm not mad at that.
my my perspective on the battle didn't really change too much because I thought from the jump that it was super close. I thought that it was one that, people were gonna be able to debate for a long time. And I think based on preference, and if you think about being direct and breaking down an opponent, what you like from a battle, you got from this one. So it's definitely a really, I would say, I don't like the word debatable battle, especially with, we pick winners and losers here, but I think this one
Yeah,
is
I
as
mean,
close as
yeah,
it
you
gets.
yeah, you got to chalk it up sometimes where it's like you could see both sides, but you're gonna pick a winner because you keep a certain format for battles and you have intangibles that you look for and things that stand out to you more. But this is just one of those battles where it's like really like, wow, you know what? Like it did one thing, but at the same time, you can't ignore this. So it really is still close. And to think that this is a career performance from Goodz, and this is the first time we've seen Tay Roc really under pressure in a long time and it's still debatable. That shows the testament of how good Goodz was, and also how difficult it is to beat Tay Roc. Clearly,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And this is a good style clash. I mean, Goodz, the way that he tried to break down Tay Roc and the way that, Tay Roc tried to attack this battle a little differently than he has in previous battles, I think it just shows that each of them weren't really underestimating each other. And it turned out really good for the fans, I think, and good for each of them too.
yo, that's a fact, man. And I'm ready to get rolling when you are, man. We can start with round one.
Yeah, I mean, we could start. We got, Goodz. He comes out with he's calling, Rock Shantae, calling him Shantae Rock.
Right.
Kind of getting that feel going that he's gonna just start discrediting Rock from the jump. I mean, there's a couple pause worthy bars in these, in this first four. Um,
Oh yeah.
got it's about time we get it on while they watch. I like this. I heard a bunch of internet geeks with they pom pom sucking Tay cock pause that whole little 2 bars right there.
So the first 4 bars, Program B would have been going crazy. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, if he was in the building, he's looking at everybody like, pause. How y'all think this is pause? Nah.
You know what's crazy? When we first recapped it, I don't remember him ever mentioning this.
No, and
I
I
think
don't
now
know
he's
if,
gonna look back at the battle.
yeah, I don't know if he was listening as hard as he should have. Cause you know what? If you look, when I was looking back, Goodz actually went through this a little quick. He didn't give it time to resonate. He went right into the next. He's like, well, I came to rap. Like he went right into it. Like, so he didn't give it time to really sit with everybody. But looking back, it's like, I don't know why you would start like that. But all right, I guess we're here now.
I did like what Goodz was doing in the first round though, and I was
I love the
intrigued
way
at
he
the fact that
structured
he
it.
wanted to go. Yeah, I was intrigued that he said he wanted to go first anyway when Tay Roc picked him to go first. And he structured the first round really good, where it's like and we predicted it prior. Like we said, he's gonna take his first round not to like sacrifice or give it up, but he's gonna set the foundation of what his tone is for the battle, you know, and pick up from there.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. I think what he did with the way that he tried to make Tay Roc look, I think that affected Tay Roc negatively throughout that battle later on. Maybe not in the first round, and I don't even know if Goodz actually got this first round. He definitely didn't give it away though, and the way that he painted this picture of Tay Roc going on, it definitely had a negative effect on how I was looking at Rock's bars. So I think he did, the way the breakdown, the angle, all that, he did it really well. And I think it actually helped him and hurt Tay Roc. So that was one thing
I love,
now go ahead.
yeah, man. I love the whole on URL you can do nothing wrong. Like that whole little spiel, because
Yep.
like literally he started poking at a bunch of things that Tay Roc said, and like you look back and you're like, damn, we really let Tay Roc slide with a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. And then
And then you just laugh at
it
it.
honestly, when it got into, this is Tay Roc's first time being booed in this battle. I think that had part to do with it was they were like, nah, now we're really not going to let anything slide. We haven't let it slide all day, really. And he just pointed out that everybody lets Tay Roc do what they want. So now we're not letting him get away with nothing. And I think that kind of contributed to the boo later on in the second round. But then, I mean,
That was so strategic. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Now that you just said that, that kind of tripped me out. That's so strategic that he's good just planting the seed, and now the crowd, and you're in the crowd, so the crowd, you as a participant in the crowd, you're probably saying to yourself, "Damn, I really let Tay Roc get away with a lot of these bars. Let me tighten up my ears to make sure he doesn't have a Denani bar in these rounds." You know?
yeah, for sure. And then, the way he kind of takes away that, when he had the gun bar king to Robocop walk in a room, them shots don't hurt. Like that just, like, he's breaking down every part of Rock at this point and trying to make it seem like what he does doesn't matter. And to an extent, it kind of worked. Like it made things, feel a little less from Rock, even though, I look at things you know, through the whole scope, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna just because Taylor, I mean, Goodz going first, it kind of makes you almost want to believe what he's saying, and like, yeah, nah, Tay Roc does do that stuff, like he's doing it right now. No, we can't, whatever. It kind of put you against him from the jump, and trying not to do that. You still hear Tay Roc's bars, but he did a good job of turning the momentum around and getting it, to where you kind of don't like Tay Roc from the jump.
Let's also put in context that going into the battle, Tay Roc was an overwhelming favorite. Like all the polls were landslides. Like I think there was no poll that had good 15% higher than 15%. Every poll was close to 90-10, 89-11, 88-12. Like it's as if Goodz was supposed to die that night.
Yeah, and I was voting for Tay Roc on every poll that I saw too. I didn't think it was gonna even be close, and that's the one thing I went into on the plus and minus of the event recap was I went in a Goodz hater and came out a Goodz fan, and that was one thing that I did not expect going in. That was probably the biggest like surprise for me was how good Goodz was this late in his career too. Like, and if you think about his performance prior to this, it was what, gyms, and that wasn't that
Yeah.
great, honestly. So
Yeah, if that's all you had to base off of, I wouldn't fault you for picking Rock if you're just going off the last performance like
yeah, and
that.
even if you look at his performance prior to that, like he said, he'd what take off 3 years. I mean, we don't know if 3 years is gonna come back and it's gonna hit the same, and if he's still that same person, or if that's even still what he wants to talk about 3 years later. You know what I mean? He could be a totally different battler at that point. So yeah, I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting him to do
man.
as well as he did.
But let's also give credit to Tay Roc's first round because he set the tone really well in the first round too. Like he raised the roof to the point where it's like, yeah, now you have to literally fight and get the crowd back from Goods, and he had a lot of good lines, honestly. Like, I think we give Tay Roc a lot of slack for his past year. Like the Hitman battle wasn't his best, and Goods made him look really different this battle. But Tay Roc had a really stellar performance, and he had really good writing in the Goods battle, to be
Yeah,
honest.
and I mean that was one thing where I think the bounce back is really important after being broken down like that and having somebody take your whole style, strategy, performance, everything, and try that hard to flip it against you to be able to get the crowd back on your side like the way he did. I mean, when he, with the bar, with the first, four, when he's, I'm glad they didn't give me conceded. His name Reggie, I only smoke goods. Like right there, that was the flip. And people were, oh, okay, like this is still Tay Roc. This is, you know what I mean? Like Goods almost had us fooled for a minute and almost made us forget what he really was.
I loved the Tay Roc line when he said, "Ayo, Goods, you don't know what's at stake. Your resume don't hold no fucking weight. This is proof that Goods don't look the same amongst the greats." I love that already because like since Goods doesn't battle that often, it's not that you can't put him in the top list, but just because of activity, you're always going to leave him out of things. Like Goods isn't going to always be the internet guy. He's not going to be the fan favorite on a poll. He's not going to be a guy you put in the top five discussion. He's not going to be somebody you put in the champion of the year running, but he's going to be somebody that's hard to defeat and is always going to make his mark and be in control of his battle rap career. And then I thought Tay Roc was pretty slick by saying that. And
Oh,
then the line
oh,
afterwards, I loved it. And I'm a Bronx guy. I'm a Bronx native. So it hit me, and I'm like, oh, that line was fire. He was like, me and this goofy ain't the same. This Thule ain't a thing. A nigga from the VX will be in
that
excruciating
was
pain. That
fire. That
was
was a
fire.
hey man. I was going crazy for that one in the building.
I was like, look at Tay Roc
Right,
with the
and yeah, I
multi.
didn't really see
Hold
him
up.
him doing that. Syllable and changing up his flow, kind of like that. It was that hit too. That was fire.
Yeah, because I'm so used to Tay Roc being one of those guys that like has a sinuses, whereas like he has those lines that he'll say it again, but it means two different things. Like when he said, "Remember your battle with Hollow? You threw the bottle. Imagine drinking Henny. Mahalo go through your bottle." Like that's what he's kind of like
Yeah,
he's good
yeah,
at. Through your bottle, through your bottle, through your bottle. And he loves lines like that. Matter of fact, I think a couple bars after that, he does a little flips. Like remember when he battled Charlie Clips and he was like, "Fuck who
oh
clips
yeah,
round,
he
I shoot
did that.
whoever round clips." He did the same thing when he was like, he did my shooter a good shot. He always shot good. He'll leave good shot and come back after he shot goods. Like he literally,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
one of his
agree.
Tay Roc's best strengths, doing those little circles with those rhymes, and we love him for it. And he was excelling in the
Yeah,
first
I mean,
round.
and
I'm not
that's
gonna
not
lie to you.
even like that's not even because the other half of that line, doing bad. Witness said it was not good. Your mother gonna have the same thing gonna say the same thing looking in that cassette. Like that's not goods. Like
Oh yeah, I
right,
mean
that's what I'm
it
saying.
wasn't
He still
even
had a
over.
couple
It
bars
still
after that.
kept
So
going.
that I mean, and like you said, that's one thing he does really well. I mean, and then he starts to break down goods a little bit too, because then he's like, that's my shit. You get emotional and throw drinks like a loving hip hop bitch. Like he's breaking down because Goods always he threw the henny at whoever the fuck he threw the henny at. Goods is and
That
oh
Jim's
yeah, couldn't
line,
even
that shit was fire, man. Gun bar shit. I Gun bar shit. I ain't here to spit knowledge or drop no gems in the ring. Speaking of dropping gems in the ring, You couldn't even drop gems with
Yeah,
gems in your ring. Like that shit was crazy. And that goes back to what we're saying. He loves to just have that constant pattern where
yeah,
he
and
can
he
break
turns
it
it into
down
like
to
a double
multiple
or a triple
things.
or whatever entendre at that point. He just flips and flips it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, it's the
Mm-hmm.
word play because gems. It's not the same word, but it's pretty fucking close. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
and his
more
accent
that
of
whole
selling
thing he
off
was
too,
going
right?
with.
So we're here 1-0 goods at this
No,
point, right?
I don't think so. I don't.
I'm sorry.
I was yeah. No, I
I'm
was
sorry. I
saying
meant to say Tay Roc. I
yeah. I got 1-0
apologize.
Tay Roc
We're
pretty. I
1-0.
would say pretty clear, but I think the way that Goodz breaks down Tay Roc affects him later on in this battle, and it especially the second round. I think Good's first round sets him up for a great second round.
Yeah, it's almost like in boxing where like the jab is you're gonna score more with the jab, so you'll score more and win the round.
And
But the other fighter is hitting you with
mm-hmm.
body shots where you're gonna get more tired progressively throughout the rounds. And that's what Goodz did here. And his second round started off great. I thought it was really risky to start off with the whole like
Oh
his
yeah, this is
mantra
a
where
few
it's
things
like
I
this is
think
what this
about
has
when y'all
nothing to do
rap.
with the
Yeah,
battle. It's just a few things I think about when y'all rap. Like I thought that was really risky because, he was the underdog. He knew he was going to take his first round to set up, and Tay Roc put pressure, and that crowd was fair, but they wanted the bars. They wanted the punches. So, like, he spent his 4 bars doing that, and no punch after that, and Goodz is a little slow of a
yeah. I
rapper.
mean, and
I'm like, oh, that's risky.
that was my thing going in was I didn't think that was gonna be enough. This whole that because I feel like that's part of his swagging on people. That aspect he brings, but it's not. That to me was not gonna be enough to beat Rock, and I said that from the jump. I was like, he better come with more than that. Talking about and he even said in the first round, he was like, "Don't talk about money," like da da da, because he said some other stuff, and it actually hit, But when he couldn't do that for the entire battle and beat Tay Roc. I don't think it was gonna happen.
You you know why it hit? You know why it hit? It's because he made it into like something that's factual. That like everything he'll say, you have no choice but to nod your head and agree with him, saying, "Yo, that is true." Like when he was like, "Hater, you need to stop talking about don't come up here with money." As far as the game go, don't paper beat Rock.
Yeah,
Then you're gonna say, right? And it's not that crazy of a line, but you're gonna nod at the fact that yeah, rock paper scissors, paper
yeah,
beat Rock,
exactly.
and you have a point there. It's so fundamental, and it's not even that hard of a punch, but it's just enough to make you say,
Yeah, I mean that goes back
"You're right.
to
You have a
kind of
point."
the things that we said in the when me and even Bad Money in the Head Ice and King Los recap, or even with Vlad and the recappable that we did. Just sometimes it's not the most intricate bar; it's the simple one that gets to the point that hits, and that's definitely with the way that Goodz was breaking down Rock. He had a lot more of those simple bars that were direct and not just like a gun bar or something that was
Yeah,
crazy, like a movie reference or anything like that. These were all pretty direct and like trying to go at the character of Rock. So I think they definitely, did their thing. They did really well. And this round, I think it showed up a lot in Rock's second round. The material and the way that he tried to break down Rock, it showed up when Rock rapped in the second round.
yeah, and it's funny when Goods try to do the little 4 bar setup, the whole you got to be ready to go to war with the gun bar king. All you got is gun bar king. You ain't well rounded. Let me try this gun bar thing. Like if you really look at it, that's kind of lazy writing. Like it's a multi, gun bar king, gun bar king, gun bar. It's a multi, but like
Right.
you're using gun bar for 3 of the 4 lines, and in the last line you use one arm sling, and it's like okay, it kind of landed, but it was lazy. But what's funny is, even if you thought it was a bad line,
And then and
Goodz
he
was
might have done
saying,
it.
"Okay, let me do
Yeah,
what
so
you
he might have
do."
done it bad on purpose to make
So
it
what
look
he's
like what
saying
Rock
is,
does is
"I'll make."
bad.
He, yeah, exactly. So that's interesting. This like you kind of nod your head at it, but in reality, he was mimicking Tay Roc. So he's saying like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not great, and that's what you guys like. And then after that, he goes into you think with guns, they'll get you bars. Same difference. I think a gun it'll get me bars, but I ain't spitting. And so then not only did he just mimic Tay Roc, and now he's saying the difference between him and Tay Roc. Goodz was
Yeah, and then he
extremely
goes. I mean,
surgical this
even then,
battle.
going into like the
Oh
old Tay
man,
Roc swag, like he said, I remember Tay Roc at 16. He was used to spitting, clothes filthy, but he stayed with the newest fitted. Same big hat. I guess you never grew to fit it. Headshot. Let the swelling fill all the room that's sitting. Like that's that's going at the Tay Roc's dirty.
that's fire.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That goes at that whole like Tay Roc used to be
And it was
dirty a
fire for
long
the
time ago. Now he's
delivery.
a little more clean with his jerseys and
Yeah,
all
and
that. But
it was
people used to say that he was dirty back then, and it just fits.
and keep in mind that this is something that's pretty crazy. This is kind of deep when you think about it, right? For Goodz to make us look at Tay Roc the way we've never seen Tay Roc, Goodz will have to be in a way we've never seen Goodz. Because that same exact line you just said, right? When he was like, I remember Tay Roc, clothes filthy, always stay with the newest fitted. The crowd started laughing. The crowd was like,
I was
yeah. And then Goodz started screaming back at
Yeah,
the
I saw that
crowd. He
too, and
was
he
like,
was, he was
you think
definitely
I'm
in a
gonna
different.
battle
That's
Roc?
not a Good's bag.
Me?
That was not a Good's reaction because his voice started to crack a little bit, and he got out of that cool zone. You know what I mean? I was
Like,
like, "What is this?" Like,
yeah, like he looked like he was like, y'all really doubted me? Me? And it's like, wow, I've never seen Goods like this. And because I've never seen Goods like this, he got into a mode where he can make us look at Rock like we've never seen. So now the one thing we leave with this battle is to say is no matter who you have winning, you're gonna say, I've never seen Goods like this and I've never seen Rock
yeah, and I
like
think it's
this.
impressive
And
too,
that's pretty
especially
cool because Goods
because,
did all that.
like we pointed out in the beginning, Rock was on a roll before this, and I honestly think he was supposed to dog walk Goods. Like I had Rock 30 before this battle. I'm pretty sure I was standing outside the venue telling people like Rock 30, you're out your damn mind. And I ended up leaving that battle like, yo, I was wrong. It wasn't even close to a 30. Like, and no, I was extremely impressed with them.
Yeah, man. There's some Yeah, man, you really gotta you'll love this battle for it was a chess match. It was literally a chess match because Goods doesn't have the style. Like, see, every other person that battles Tay Roc, right? When you go down his resume, they all try to do the exact same thing. Like, they try to like outbar him, take the crowd from him, take the wind away from him, match him with haymakers. And because of the mantra and the reputation Tay Roc's built, like you're just not gonna beat him that way because he's become such a fan favorite. It's not that he's like overrated or gassed, but it's because he became the underdog, the bottom of a card to the main event and climbed the ladder. People aren't gonna
Yeah, I
turn
mean,
their
and
back on Tay
and
Roc like that
part of that too, like we
until
didn't
this
even talk
battle.
about, and earlier in the first round uh when Good said that the league owner co-signed you, and now all of a sudden you're a league favorite, like it's a setup, like that's crazy. That paints such a different perspective of him because all of a sudden he was Smack's gunner. This is my
That is
gunner, Tay
crazy.
Roc. Da 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 da. That's my man. Da 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 da. He's next to him at all the events. Like it started to make sense when Goods was talking like that. You're like, wow, you know what? Did they force him into that spotlight? Like, did we just take it because Smack said so, or did Rock really earn that spot? Because I started thinking this back when Tay Roc battled John, which is my
Right,
thing.
right.
I was like, look, I don't know if Tay Roc is as crazy as people are making it seem, but
Mm.
at the same time, like, and that's when this whole, oh, he's being gassed, da 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 da. That's when that all started to develop because it's like, is he being gassed? Because Smack's saying this is good, so people are just like, it's good regardless, or is he actually out there getting his due just?
Well, it might have started. it might have started earlier than that. Like I think at the DNA battle is when the gas really came into fruition. Because before the DNA battle, he battled Clips, JC or Will, Magic, and then his first headline against Cortez. Like before the Clips battle, like he was just on the bottom of a card and he just rocked the card with a crazy performance to the point where it's like you had to put him on a bigger stage, you had to put him against bigger competition, and you were just so happy with what he was doing consistently, no matter who you put in front of him, whether they were beloved or not. Like they weren't gonna turn their back on Tay Roc. Like Surf is damn near just as much as loved as Tay Roc, and in their battle,
Yeah.
you'll see there's moments where Surf's
I
not even getting crowd
mean,
reactions. So like it's very difficult. It's a very difficult assignment to take the crowd away from Tay Roc. Not saying Tay Roc needs the crowd, but he's never been in a position where the crowd is against him. And Goodz not only understood the mindset of the crowd, planted the seed, played with them, had crowd control. He finally said, "Yo, the one thing that Roc's never
yeah, I mean,
faced,
and that,
I'm gonna put him
yeah,
in
and
front
I
of
mean,
it."
and it goes to show, and that's like I keep saying, when we get into Rock's second round, we
That's
could see
really
where all this starts to
that's
actually
crazy.
unfold, and everything that Goods has been saying in this persona and perception he's been painting of Tay Roc actually kicks in with the crowd, and the crowd starts to slowly turn against Tay Roc in a way that we've never seen, in a way that Tay Roc's never seen, and he points it out during the battle.
Let me also point out before we get into Tay Roc's second round, we're going to segue there. Towards the end of Good's second round, when he says, snub glocks, ice grill mug shots. When I walk on stage, I make it feel like a drug block. You can't eat here. Bears face when the Cubs watch.
That was
I'll ensure by
fire.
letting something register in your glove box. Like that shit was crazy. But to me, it was, of course, it was
Yeah,
fire,
like
but
a,
he was so aggressive
yeah,
saying
like
it, and
a
he ended it with
bow.
a blow, a gun sound. When have we ever seen Goods make when have we seen? Oh yeah, like when have we ever
Yeah,
seen
I
Goods
don't. Yeah,
bow
normally
bow?
that's not really in his
When?
forte,
I've never
and
seen
it's,
that.
and I feel like he thought he had to do it. And even before that too, he breaks down like where Rock's from in the county, and it, even if it's not true, because I don't really know anything about Baltimore or the surrounding area, but you're from the county, you're not even from the real Bmore. No projects, no
hmm
shootouts, no knife killings. The county got big houses, gated communities, and nice livings. Like, eh, I
So at
mean,
this moment, we're 1-1, right? We're definitely 1-1,
yeah,
right?
I
But
had
like
it
we're
1-1
gonna
after the
point out
second,
Tay
even though we
Roc's
haven't gotten into Tay Roc's
downfall.
second yet. I will point out what in the second
And,
made me feel that way, because I think there was not a lot, but enough that fit what Goods was saying that I was like, all right, I can't even give this to her. It doesn't feel right. So even going into that, so he gets into his second
right.
round. He's like, he was just telling y'all differences and shit, right? And he's like, it's a difference. You like designer belts. You spin a grip on your waist. And then someone in the crowd at this point was like, yeah, so do I. So I was like, I was dying at that part right there, because he was trying to make it a point, like, because I mean, Tay Roc finishes it up with me. I keep something by the belt. It's a grip on my waist. Like, all right, cool. Like, that's light. Like, that's really light. But I just thought it was funny that somebody screamed out when he was trying to point out that, like, you like designer belts, you spin a grip on your waist. Someone was like, me too. Like, what the fuck? Like, so that kind of set the tone. That was right off the jump though, but that kind of set the tone. Like, people, you could tell that people weren't really with him at that point.
Unfortunately, after the
I
yeah, the
was
plunger
about to
line
boo
is
at the
where it
plunger
all went
line.
to the bed. Like he shit the bed at the plunger line.
And it, not that and like I said before, I'm not a fan of booing. I've never booed, but I
Wow.
understood, not that,
Wow.
with the saying, not that it's right, but I understand. Um, cause I mean, the bar was, I'll run up on him, K with a
Right.
drum. I'm like a plumber. Stick got a round on the bottom, look like a plunger. I'm not feeling that. I don't know. Even reading it down, watching it back on cam, I wasn't feeling that.
you know, it's crazy because he lost the crowd completely at that line, and he was like, "Oh, this never happened to me before. I've never been booed. Thank you. I needed that." And then, unfortunately, the crowd turning against him, actually,
It didn't.
he after the plunger line, he said some pretty good
Yeah, and it
lines,
didn't
but
have
then
as
he
much
lost them
steam
at that point, right?
as
Like
it would
nothing was gonna
have.
bring
And I
him
think even
back
if he hadn't
instantly.
admitted that this, because he said like this never happened to me, like give me that, like y'all just made me mad, thank you.
That's
Like
his first. Yeah, yeah.
I think if he doesn't say all that, it might come off a little better. But because he was like pointing out that it's never happened to him, it kind of threw off. We were all kind of like, wow, yeah, this hasn't happened to you. Why are you so different? Why does it feel so different?
Yo, man, we're here 1-1 at this point, right? And now you're thinking to yourself, wow, Goods actually has the momentum, like, and it's crazy. That's why you gotta love these battles because like the momentum will swing so drastically, and then it just comes down to like little lines and little moments. And I thought Goods' third round was really good. He got heckled from the
I
crowd a
think
little
part
bit.
of that
And you know
though
what's
was
crazy?
going
He got heckled from the
into
crowd for a line
because
that was
he was
actually
being
really fire.
yeah, a little. Yeah, I think so. And it wasn't so
It was
much.
a over. It was
It
it was
wasn't so
over the
much.
head
I
bar,
think
right?
the bar as it was earlier on when he was like his defense during Tay Roc's round was like almost distracting. But it was almost distracting to a point like where Tay Roc was like he's trying to
Oh,
distract her from the
amazing,
fact that he's losing. Like
incredible.
I when I was in the building,
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was.
really agree with Tay Roc when he said that. I'm like, nah, he's just reacting to the shit that he don't like. But watching it on cam, it seems like he was being kind of extra, and it made me think a little differently of Goodz, but not too much to the point. I mean, it's defense is defense. People have different ways of going about it. But he was actually talking to the
Yeah,
crowd though, and that's when Rock hit him with the no, and
I
Rock,
mean,
Rock had the
it's
bar where
not his
he's
first
he
time.
tried to talk through around like he usually do,
Yeah, but it's not like
So
this is
it's
the first
not
time him doing it.
we've seen it before, and
Right.
it's a good thing, but it's just like that's one thing that I don't really like about Goods too much is talking during people's rounds.
Yeah, it is bad sportsmanship, man. And, he said a line. It was open the manual, the ratchet will pop, casket will drop. The shit I got for you don't need instructions on the back of the box. You can't fix it when you look at whatever. Bar so crazy that I'm a couple of screws loose. I can still put it together. I'm built different. That shit was kind of fire. I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa, that shit was dope.
he knew that would come
And the
up better
crowd
on
like
cam.
kind of like heckled him, and he was like, you know what? I'm not even stressed because I know that was a good line. And that's some he's like that's some veteran shit to like not get emotional when they don't react to a really well thought out line and just say, yeah, it was a good line. They'll catch it on camera. Like that, I give them credit for that because anybody else would have sucked their teeth, would have waited,
Yeah, that might
got
ruin
back with the
somebody like a New
crowd,
Jersey
been
twerk.
upset.
That
He
might
just
really
took a
throw
minute, took
off
a
the
sip, and
round.
said, "All right, back to the next line." You know,
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that you see that
that'll
actually
ruin. Yeah,
cater to
that'll
the
it'll ruin
camera
a lot of people.
versus the building, so you see that a little more from those battlers. And then definitely the people who rely on that crowd reaction, not rely on it, but
Hmm.
they feed off it
Yeah.
more than others. They use that energy. That definitely is gonna throw you through a loop when you got something is fire and it doesn't hit.
Yeah, he had a lot of lines that were like they're good lines, and the crowd was like, ooh ah, ooh ah. They didn't explode to or anything. But then he said like a real ignorant line. He's like, I bought a new
Right, like
mask
it's
with
just a
Jesus'
name
head and
drop.
Smack's beard. And everybody's like, yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Like this this line came from nothing. Like this yeah, it's just name dropping and giving you imagery so like you guys are fucking with it, but like it wasn't as well thought out as all
I
the
mean, I
other
think he
lines. I
did.
wonder
I
if he
don't think he
knew
would
that
have.
line was
Yeah, I don't think
ignorant
he would have
enough to
wrote it
like
if he didn't think
keep them
that. I
interested.
think he. Anytime you have a Beasley
He's like,
bald
yeah, let me throw
head,
this line in here because
smack beard type of line, it's gonna people are gonna fuck with it at least.
you, yeah, you might get by with one of those always. It's a cop out. And I'm not gonna lie, man. At one point, his angle got just a little redundant because like he said everything he had to say, so there wasn't much more he had to say. But he mixed it up. He had intricate bars, he had punches, he had jokes. He still kept building up on the strategy. He kept building. Um, it was a solid round. It wasn't like his second. It was probably a little the same
Yeah,
with
I
his
mean, and I
first.
thought in the
But Tay Roc's third
building, I
round
had Tay
is
Roc actually winning
underrated.
the
It's a
first
really
and the
good fucking
third.
round.
And I said that in the Recappable as a guest, and I think I'm gonna stick by that with the rewatch. Um,
Hmm.
it it was, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Like
I'm not
the
mad at it
writing in
because
there
his
was
third round was actually
a
really
lot better
good.
than I thought it was. Than I thought it. Well, going back on Cam, I caught there was way more that I didn't catch even there, and I still had Tay Roc winning, and I didn't even catch everything. Um, so I think that he started off good. The way that he you punched somebody because you thought he brought up your daughter. He's like, I'm mad at that. Why would you battle me? I love to cross those type of lines in battle rap. And then he starts talking about he did he didn't go he
Well, he pussyfooted around the
yeah, I
line. He
feel
didn't really cross
like
it.
at
Like he
that
just
point
tap
you
danced
could
around me,
either
right? Like,
go like full
but
arsenal
in a
mode
clever way.
or just leave it alone. You know what I mean? Like, or even when he said that like everybody else in your family gets smoked or whatever, like, that was kind of cool.
It
He's
was
all right.
witty
You
and
can't
it
talk
was
about your
humor.
daughter, then I'm gonna
Yeah, it
talk
was
about your mom. I'm gonna talk about your woman. I'm gonna talk about everything. You know what I mean? Like everybody else. So he kind of turned it into a little bit of a better angle.
right. Yeah, he had a really strong setup with like he had like a whole 10, 12 bar like rhyme pattern where how I'm a bum, my whip, I got my own spot. And then he just kept that multi going. I got my own spot, don't
Mm-hmm.
got, swole knot, coke shop, soap pop. And then towards the end it just kept building up like and that's really rare, right? You don't get the chance to see
Yeah,
Tay
normally,
Roc on a big stage rap a full
uh,
like at least 12 bars straight in the same pattern without getting
yeah, or
stopped.
even like
Like everybody was
in
just like
those
really
moments,
enjoying it.
he's waiting for the crowd reaction.
Yeah,
So
right?
even a
Like
little
they
crowd
were just
reaction, he'll
enjoying what he
still
had
bring
to
it back.
say.
And I think the crowd, they honestly, yeah, I think the crowd with this one, they let him rock. They were like, just go. Like, you're feeling it.
And
We're feeling
he
it.
ended it
Go. We
strong.
want to hear it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. Oh, we wanted him to, yeah.
And it ended strong, man. Yeah, it was blow up the whole block, dynamite tape to an old clock, get your show stopped. Nigga, you had a whole SWAT. Sawed off, name the Michael Jackson. That's because the nose chop. You don't
Bro,
know
yeah. And
squat.
it went
Thumb
on for
shot.
so
Chrome pop.
long.
Machine got to keep him alive. Now he a robot. That shit was crazy. And it's only gonna sound good if it's only gonna sound yes, but it's only gonna sound good if nobody stops it. Like if you get stopped in the middle of it over and over again, it won't sound as effective. So like, you know what?
I think so. And
Originally they
I
supposed to
mean, as good
battle
of
in
a
a
battle as this
volume.
was, I don't
It
even,
probably would have
it
turned out way
feels,
better in a
it
volume too.
feels wrong even saying that it could be better in another setting. But I honestly think it would have been perceived better by everyone if there wasn't as much of a crowd. I think the volume actually it doesn't even give anybody really a bigger advantage. I don't think, but I just think it makes the battle overall just a little bit better.
I do want to see Tay Roc in a setting where he isn't stopped all the time, or like he just flows straight through, and it'll sound so much better. We'll probably love it so much more. And like I said earlier, he had good writing in this. Like he had a lot of multis, and he did a lot of lines where he kept on going for at least 10 bars. He did that same exact little nose chop, coke shop, soap op. He did it again when he had the whole bottom of the tip top. You can't skip rock this hot overlapped you. It's a pit stop. Don't be rock. We slide like a flip flop. This rock, you're gonna die over hip hop. For rock bands to hit them with Metallica, you get your neck tied in a slip knot.
Mm-hmm.
Wig shot, you get six shot. money on his head. I got goods for cheap like a thrift
Yeah, I
shop.
mean, and it
Like
was,
that,
yeah, and
I'm
I
like,
think that
wow,
was,
he's
part of an
really
intelligent crowd will do
they're
that to
they're,
you.
they're letting
Like,
him rap,
Houston was not, and I
which
said
sounds
this in the
great.
Recappable, bars that were booed and bars that were cheered, generally, I would say, for the most part of the night, were warranted. I don't think there was anybody really getting booed that didn't deserve it, or a super hot bar or something, that was actually, overheads got booed. I don't think that really happened too much. And I think that the crowd, was able to let people rock. And when someone's about to get in that bag and they change their voice a little bit and you hear the first one, you hear that first, flip flop, whatever, you know what I mean? That, you know, pit stop. Like, I'm this, and it's coming in the a smart crowd will let that rock until the last one. And I think that, I think Houston was one of the better crowds that we've had in a long time. I think it was, people who weren't afraid to speak their minds. They weren't really being too biased. I thought it was, I thought it was great. And I think both of them handled this crowd really well. It was not an easy crowd to be in front of.
Nah, man, shout outs to both of them. They're warriors, man. And I think just because
And
the
that
picture
was,
that
yeah,
Goods
we didn't even
painted,
get into that part
and
about it. That was
Rock losing
crazy.
the
I was
second round
expecting
after
after
not losing his
his
second
first
round
round,
in
I was expecting
almost
that
two
second round to
years
be
or longer.
crazy.
And
And I think everybody in the building was, and I think that also contributed
yeah,
to the
like
booze.
yeah, I really can't even recall. Like the last time I seen Rock did not have a good second round was probably against Rum Nitty, but that's because they had a scuffle. But his last couple battles, disaster, Hollow, Chess, Sharon, Arsenal. You go back to John, and even
I won't argue with
Calico.
that.
Like Surf. The last time Tay Roc lost the second round was against DNA, and that was in 2014. And that was in 2014. So he hasn't lost the second round in at least close to 4 years. So he literally was like the king of that round, and then Good snatched it. I do think Goods laid the template for Hitman Holla to take up on himself. We'll talk about that another day. But because of what Goods did, I kind of edge him the battle. I'm not mad if you say Tay Roc won because
Yeah, I mean,
regardless, like
I'm
Tay
I'm
Roc's third
sticking
round
with
was still really
my
good,
gut. My
despite Goods changing the
original
narrative on him.
thought was Rock 2-1 with the first and the third, and I didn't see too much watching it back that changed my mind. But I will say that going into this, I was a Goods hater, and I came out a Goods fan. I'm looking forward to his next battle. I would be disappointed if he took another 3 years off. You know, that's the type of person that I became after this battle.
It's crazy. It's it took a career performance from Goods to even at the end of the day still make it debatable with Tay Roc. I thought he won, but it's still a debatable battle,
Yeah, I don't
and
think
it took a
anybody.
career performance. 'Cause this is the best Goods. I'm not even being hyperbolic. Like this is the best. This is better than the T top Goods. This is probably better than the Averb Goods. This is probably better than the Averb Goods just because he was at home against Verb and he wasn't this big of an
Yeah, and
underdog. It's
yeah, and
better
I
than the
think most
Rome's
people would
goods. It's
agree
better
with
than the
that. I
Danger
don't
Zone
think there's
goods. Better
anybody who
than
would
the
say
X
that
Factor goods.
the
This is one of the
this
best
goods is
goods,
not a
if
top
not the
two
best.
goods. This is, I mean, I think this is the best goods we've ever seen all around. You know, scheme, bar, personal angle. I mean, you name it, he went through it, and that's just you know insane to say at this point in his career. He's been around for so long. You don't think you get that battle right now?
That is a fact, man. That's a fact.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think
think that pretty
in the
much tops
Slack, I
off
think
this
Vlad just said he
Recappables,
had
man. So
Goods second and third. So
a
I think
split
we're gonna have
decision
it a
here. I
little
wonder what the rest
split.
of the
I think
squad.
the whole squad might be split. We'll see, but we'll definitely be on Twitter to chop it up too.
Yeah, man. So that pretty much concludes this Recappables with
Hey,
Goodz
no,
and Tay
thanks for
Roc.
coming on. The
Everybody listening, thank you
Recappable
for tuning in as always,
series.
man.
This
Leave
is
us a like,
your
subscribe,
first appearance on
and as
here,
always,
so
man,
thanks
Dylan, it's been
thanks
a
for
pleasure,
making it
man.
out. Oh yeah, for sure. I like the dynamic here. I like the way we broke this down. But thanks everybody for listening, tuning in.
This is my first appearance. I got to make a couple more, man.
Yeah, right. Like we haven't had that coming in too much. I'm
Yeah, because
excited to
I'm the only
keep
one.
this going.
I'm the
We'll
only
see
one.
where we take it.
I'm the only one to disagree with you so far.
All right, man. Thanks everybody tuning in. It's the Let's Talk Battle Rap podcast. Peace.
Facts.
Yeah, that was nice. That wasn't too long, but
Yeah, good shit, bro.
oh
Good
yeah, for sure.
work. I'm
Yeah, I
No,
was thinking the
that was
same
good.
thing.
This is
This
a
is
good
one of
ass
the
battle. Like this deserves it. And I was thinking about it too. I was like, damn, we're going a little overtime. But I was like, nah, fuck that. This battle deserves it. This is such a good battle. My phone's actually dying.
yeah.
It's one of
I
those. My
mean,
phone's actually
yeah. Other than
dying.
my
So
notes that I took, there ain't
let
really
me
much to
charge this
say
joy
about
for a
the
bit.
clone.
Because the
Seemed
next
like there's
battle,
not
we're
a lot
not
of
going to spend
background
as
info
much
on
time
that
on it.
one.
We'll probably spend half the time we did on this one.
Yeah,
It, there's a little background info, but it's not as extensive as this one. So like we'll
yeah,
get
for
through that
sure.
one in like 20
Just go
minutes.
ahead and put it in the Slack
Let
when
me
you're ready to
charge this
go.
for like 20 something. We'll call it out, bang it out, then I'll upload these bad boys, man.
All right, bro. Sounds good.
All right, bro. So close this
All right,
recording,
bro. Sounds
and
good.
then I'll hit you on Slack when I'm ready. Peace.